Welcome back, everyone. If you're someone who keeps an eye on government updates, particularly regarding Social Security, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to today's video. Recently, there has been some major movement in the U.S. Senate that could greatly impact millions of Americans who rely on Social Security benefits. We're talking about a significant development, one that many have been waiting for: the approval of a $5,200 increase to Social Security benefits, thanks to an initiative spearheaded by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. This development is monumental because, for many, Social Security benefits are their primary, if not only, source of income. But now, with this new initiative, millions of people who rely on Social Security and SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, are poised to receive an additional $433 per month, which over the course of a year translates into $5,200 more. But what exactly does this mean for Social Security recipients? Who qualifies for this increase, and how will this change affect individuals across the nation? In this video, we'll break down what this $5,200 Social Security increase entails, why it was necessary, and what it could mean for the future of Social Security and SSDI programs. For those who don't know, Social Security benefits and SSDI have long been vital support systems for retired individuals, veterans, and people living with disabilities. Yet, in recent years, it has become increasingly difficult for beneficiaries to live off the monthly payments due to the rising cost of living. That's where this new initiative comes into play. With the Senate's recent approval, there is now a ray of hope for millions of Americans who are struggling to make ends meet. But to truly understand the weight of this decision, let's explore how it all came about and what it means for the future of Social Security. The $5,200 Social Security increase approved by the Senate is not a small or inconsequential adjustment, far from it. This increase, which will be phased in over the next year, will add an additional $433 to the monthly checks of qualifying Social Security and SSDI recipients. For a lot of people, that might seem like a modest amount at first, but when you consider the fact that many Americans rely solely on their Social Security checks to pay for basic living expenses, it's a game changer. In simple terms, if you're receiving Social Security or SSDI, this increase could have a major impact on your finances. A $433 boost every month means more money for things like utilities, food, healthcare, or rent. And considering the inflationary pressures that have been eating away at the value of the dollar, this increase will undoubtedly make a world of difference for many individuals and families. It's important to note that not everyone will receive the full $5,200. The increase will be proportionate to the benefits an individual is already receiving. That means those who currently receive higher Social Security payments will see a bigger bump, while those with lower payments will experience a smaller increase. Still, every penny counts for those who rely on these benefits to survive. For many recipients, this adjustment could ease some of the financial strain they've been experiencing as they try to live on a fixed income. Now, you might be wondering, who exactly is eligible for this $5,200 increase? The answer is relatively straightforward. This increase primarily applies to two key groups: Social Security beneficiaries and those receiving Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. To qualify for Social Security benefits, you generally need to be over the age of 62 and have paid into the Social Security system throughout your working life. For people who are under 62 but have a qualifying disability that prevents them from working, the SSDI program offers financial assistance. If you are currently receiving either Social Security or SSDI benefits, you will be eligible for this increase. For seniors, Social Security is often the primary source of income once they retire, especially for those who may not have access to employer-sponsored retirement savings or pensions. As for SSDI recipients, these individuals have typically experienced some form of permanent disability that prevents them from participating in the workforce. For both groups, the $5,200 increase is intended to ease some of the financial burdens they face on a daily basis. However, it's important to recognize that the increase won't be a blanket adjustment across the board for all recipients. Instead, it will be calculated based on the current benefit amounts that each person is already receiving. This means that those who have been receiving lower Social Security or SSDI benefits will see smaller increases, while those who already receive higher payments will see larger adjustments. You might be asking yourself, why was this increase necessary in the first place? Well, the reality is that Social Security and SSDI payments have not kept pace with the rising cost of living. Over the past few decades, the purchasing power of Social Security benefits has diminished significantly, making it harder for beneficiaries to make ends meet. The inflation rate, rising healthcare costs, and increases in everyday expenses like groceries, housing, and transportation have all contributed to the financial strain on individuals who rely on these programs. Social Security was never intended to be the sole source of income for retirees, but for many, it is. The problem becomes especially pronounced for people with disabilities who cannot work and must depend entirely on their SSDI payments. In many cases, the monthly benefit is simply not enough to cover basic living expenses, and many people end up in precarious financial situations. This is where Schumer's initiative comes in. For years, advocates and lawmakers have been pushing for an increase in Social Security benefits, citing the rising costs of living and the need to support the growing number of senior citizens and individuals with disabilities in the U.S. The Senate finally took action by approving this $5,200 increase, signaling a commitment to improving the financial stability of those who depend on Social Security and SSDI. This change is not just a temporary fix, either. It reflects a growing recognition that Social Security and SSDI need to be adjusted to reflect current economic conditions. With more Americans relying on these programs than ever before, it's clear that a more sustainable solution is needed to ensure these programs remain viable for future generations. Schumer's initiative did not pass overnight. Getting the $5,200 increase approved by the Senate was the result of months of negotiation, lobbying, and legislative maneuvering. Schumer and other lawmakers had to work tirelessly to build support for the measure, which faced resistance from some members of Congress. One of the primary challenges was the concern over the long-term financial sustainability of the Social Security system. Critics of the increase argued that boosting benefits could place even more strain on the system, which is already facing significant financial challenges due to the aging population and the growing number of beneficiaries. Some lawmakers were worried about the impact of the increased payouts on the overall budget, while others raised concerns about the Social Security Trust Fund solvency in the years to come. Despite these challenges, Schumer and his allies were able to push the initiative through by emphasizing the immediate need for action. They pointed out that millions of Americans were struggling to make ends meet on fixed incomes and that the current benefits were no longer sufficient to provide financial security. Additionally, Schumer worked closely with members of both parties to craft a compromise that would address concerns about sustainability while still providing much-needed relief for Social Security and SSDI recipients. While the $5,200 increase is a major win for Social Security and SSDI beneficiaries, it's not the end of the road. The question now is, what's next for Social Security, and how can lawmakers ensure that the system remains sustainable in the years to come? One potential solution that has been proposed is expanding the Social Security tax base. Currently, Social Security taxes are only levied on income up to a certain threshold, which means that high earners do not contribute as much to the system as lower-earning workers. By raising or eliminating this income cap, lawmakers could increase the amount of money flowing into the Social Security Trust Fund, which would help ensure the long-term solvency of the program. Other proposals include adjusting the way Social Security benefits are calculated to better account for inflation and the rising cost of living. Some have also suggested exploring new revenue streams to fund the program, such as creating new taxes or finding ways to reduce unnecessary spending within the system. However, any major changes to Social Security will require careful planning and negotiation, and it remains to be seen what direction lawmakers will take in the coming years. And that wraps up our breakdown of the $5,200 Social Security increase approved by the Senate. This is a significant development, one that has the potential to make a real difference in the lives of millions of Americans. With Schumer's initiative gaining traction, we may be on the cusp of more changes to strengthen the Social Security system and provide better financial security for those who depend on it. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. What do you think about this $5,200 increase? Will it make a difference for you or someone you know? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.